Oh, little Penny boy. Oh, it's good to have you back, buddy. It's good to have a Panasonic in your heart. So, how did that slow motion perform? Some strange cripplings. We'll talk about it. Was I in focus? It looked like I was... So today, I look at this video like a training to fight the A7S3. We figure out some quirks now, and then we'll see, can you hang? I know I should be comparing it to the A7 III, to be fair, but that's old. It's old news. These are the new cameras, regardless of price range. Let's battle them tomorrow.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
I got time. Just take your time, Panasonic. You don't want to rush things like this. You make the right decision. Alrighty. So about the slow motion, you have 120 frames per second with autofocus. Did it focus on me? It's all 8-bit. Come on now. Sony's doing 10-bit slow-mo 4K 120p for the same price, I promise. As long as you go to Camera Canada. Thank you so much, Camera Canada, for the loaner. So you got 1080p 120p with autofocus, 150 frames per second, you lose the autofocus, and then 180 frames per second, which is what the second clip was when I ran back to my house because I forgot my notes. You lose autofocus and you crop. And it's all 8-bit. But was it glory? It could have been. So my initial impressions, I made that FX6 video with this. A lot of you guessed it. It was a pretty easy one. I was shocked a little bit at some of the guesses. I clearly said it's a new camera. We've never tried it. What could it be? And people are like, the Z50? I've reviewed it, and that had the best autofocus we've ever had. It was pulsing like a hippo. I don't mind it. I like it, actually. So pay attention to the stabilization and autofocus today. See if it hunts. Is it too shaky? Is it shakier than the A7S? I swear to God. We'll compare them. But initial impressions, when I got back the file, I was shooting in Vlog, and I was like, those colors actually look pretty good. It makes your face a little red. It's a little red tinted, and my shirt was very red and saturated. You can't turn the saturation down, so you could have in post. I didn't. I'm a moron. There may or may not be opportunities to feed squirrels. Something we've never done on the channel. Can Panasonic handle it? So initial impressions, the autofocus. If you're just sitting at a desk, it holds you pretty well. It doesn't pulse too much, but when you do lean in and lean out, like I do all the time, it will hunt to the background for a split second, always. And it's always second guessing itself. It's always going to the background. That's the one thing some people won't notice, but once you see it, you notice it. It's just constantly like, It's minor, but it's amateur looking. I'm being stalked. Is that good content? He left. He was a kid. I could have taken him. It's actually an old woman. She's just small. Looked childish to to me, but she has wisdom more than any of us know. Is she Tone? She's not even Tone. Panasonic won't let her be Tone with this lens. That's all she wants in life. We can see her just fine. Oh, now my dry skin. So we'll talk a little bit about if I regret leaving the Panasonic system, the L-mount alliance of life. After getting to test this again, it's like, oh, we finally got the flippy screen. It's finally a GH5 full frame. But the demand was to have that with phase detect autofocus. We demanded that 4 years ago. The GH5 wasn't even released. I'll wait for it. We got time. Take your sweet time, Panny Boy. It's focusing over here. Put an eye box. Okay, it's back. She looked at me. I think the L-mount alliance, they're not happy with each other. They fight internally. Sigma has come out and publicly complained about Panasonic not making enough bodies or focusing on something. I forget the whole article. They're pissed. They're pissed is the point. And I think Sigma and Panasonic had a boardroom meeting about the autofocus. Sigma doesn't know what to do. Oh, hey, Panasonic, it's been a while. It's been a while. We're making lenses for your system. We're just a bit confused as to how the autofocus algorithm is supposed to work. It's not really working with our protocols. What are we missing? Oh, young Sigma. I know it looks confusing. I can understand how some people might not get it, but it's a depth from defocus system. So the focal point is not your target. It's the depth from the focal point that you want to aim for. And then don't worry, we'll take care of the rest. We'll pulse back to the focal point. Yeah, about that, that's where we're struggling. Because when we focus on the eye, like you have eye detect, so we're on it, but then it goes ahead and then behind, and sometimes it returns. But how do we just lock on to that eye once and for all? Is that the goal, though? I mean, we here at Panasonic, we want to show you beyond what you are capable of thinking of. You see the eye, but we want to show you what's behind the eye. What's behind the idea. So we go back there for a little bit, and we come before. What's he thinking of in the future? What are his ideas? We bring it to you. It's an interesting philosophy. It's just, we want to lock on to something. Just let us focus on a damn thing. Panasonic, what the hell is it? Calm down, little Sigma. Let me put it in plain sight for you. When you focus on the eye, 3 inches back is where you want to aim for. The back of the retina. When you achieve that, make sure to come 2 inches in front of the eyelash to check to see if the back of the eye was in focus from 2 inches in front. You'll be able to see it better from there. Then it's just a simple matter of calculating a 50% ratio of what the back of the retina held to the 2 inches in front of the eyelash. And you're right at the pupil. It's eye detect. Our lenses can't do any of that. We can track an object. You've seen it on our Sony E-mount lenses. It's smooth and brilliant. Once we have the protocol, we can adapt. Your protocol is off. A witch made it. A witch. Don't worry, little Sigma. We are coming out with a firmware update to improve the autofocus. You would not believe the improvements we've made to contrast detect. It's the future. We made it right this time. So what I'm noticing is autofocus, same old shit. It still hunts, it still pulses, it's still unreliable, it's usable. Let's find the best settings. Right now, I just want to try a couple different settings. Locked on and 0 is what we are now. Let's change it. Okay, so Panasonic has 2 settings, the responsiveness and the speed. So the responsiveness is set to all the way down to locked on -3. And the speed is +5. It should be jumpy as shit, but fast. Is it? Is there pulsing in the back? Because this is the training for the A7S3 battle. Can it handle it? Is that working? I'll leave. I find with Panasonic, sometimes it works so smooth and even smoother than the Sony, but it's the reliability. Over time, you will die. Okay, now we've took the speed all the way down to -5. And I find with Panasonic, You touch that speed and it's too slow. It's not the cinematic pull you wish it was. It's like, hurry up, please. Is it like too slow, but smoother and no pulsing? It should not pulse you have so much time to think about this, Panny boy. He said 3.5 inches. I have something that's all, what? Nope. How y'all doing? Panasonic just picks you up. It really does. So once I see this footage, I'll understand something. Probably not. Okay, 2 more. The speed is at 0 now, and the next one I will switch from locked on to responsive and see if that does something. So 0 speed. Was it better than the super fast or super slow? I feel like it doesn't have me. Now it has me. That's the gamble of Panasonic life. You never know what's going to happen. And it's terrifying. It really is. Okay, last test. Okay, we've kept the 0 speed, but now we're all the way responsive, which I don't even know what it means. It should respond better to this autofocus test, right? Really what it should mean is it will latch onto the hands instead of staying on, locked on. I doubt it actually did. Are we learning anything? Have we learned something? Learning is fun. We learned nothing. All right, we're leaving it in those settings, responsive and speed 0, just to see what happens in a vlog situation. So this video is probably already like 18 minutes long. We haven't even got to my notes. Let's move on from the autofocus. I will say this. The files are hard to edit. I do not like that. 10-bit, 422, 4K, 24p, 150 megabits per second. The Sony's so much easier with its all-I format. I don't stutter at all, and then I got this in, I'm like, oh God, I'm waiting for things. Just, it takes longer to edit, it's bullshit. Same with the S1, I believe, that was a little hard. The colors we touched on a little bit earlier, but they're better than what I thought. I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. I prefer the Sony colors for some reason. Now that we have some tweaks and I'm using that Venice LUT, not bad. I prefer the Fuji colors. There's not a lot of colors I don't prefer to the Panasonic system, but whenever I get it back, I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty good. It's just a little strange in the red face, and there's nothing that can fix it. No LUT could possibly fix it. Not gonna lie to you, I want that. That's a Hewlett-Packard. That's a classic right there. I have a much better one, and it doesn't use ink. It's the toner, which is the much better option, in case you didn't realize it. Ink dries out, so if you go a long time without printing, you're still losing ink, whereas the toner just stays forever. It's dry already, so you get the exact amount you wanted from the package. 1800 prints, whatever. Let's move on. Now when it comes to Panasonic IBIS, admittedly I've just been walking as if it was a G9. How's it been performing? Is there any weird shit? 20 mils shouldn't trigger it, but is it decent? Let's do a Sony walk. This is what I have to do. The Sony, you gotta grip it. Is it smooth? For a full frame? It's a decent little lens. I like the range. For vlogging, that's probably enough. Just enough, Tone. Just enough. How's the responsive autofocus? Is it responding to my every need? Wow. It's better than Sony. Okay, I switched electronic stabilization on to test it. We have to know this is a training video. For the A7S3 battle, we need to know the best settings so you stand a chance. Even though a lot of people thought the G9 beat the A7S, but they're scrub micro four thirds tiny boys. They don't understand what they're saying. They're just like, oh, I own the G9, it's better. You're trying to convince yourself. I know it hurts. I know it hurts. When you own a G9, the pain is real. Is it better than it was? Here's a normal walk, like I was in the beginning. Are you like, wow, that's so smooth now? And how about a Sony walk as a very quiet truck passes me? Super quiet. It runs on diesel. So I will know. Once I edit this video, I'll see, okay, that is better. Okay, we'll use that. Because Sony needs its digital version that isn't digital somehow. It's an active crop that's not digital. Yeah, okay. Last thing I just want to mention, there is a recording limit. I like the red border, just like Sony. You copied them. Or did Sony copy you? 30-minute limit. That's like one of the best things about Sony. Like often I record 35 minutes, just enough to be annoyed by not having that. Happened to me on the Fuji the other day. I tried it. I was like, oh, let's try the Fuji. It's been a while. I tried to hold my pyramid up. It wouldn't hold. It wouldn't switch. You piece of shit. And it's not like it has overheating issues. You can start recording right away. So I don't get it. Why do you have that in there? I know Fuji said something about, oh, it gets too hot. You could burn yourself. Let me burn. Let me burn in hell. It's on a tripod. Ow. Oh, I'm bleeding. Okay, just a couple tests and I'll leave. We're in flat now. Instead of log, I turned all the saturation and contrast down, and then I'll tweak it after. Do we have glory now? Is it better? It shouldn't be. It won't be. It could be. It won't. And lastly, here's HLG. That just looks weird. Straight out of camera, I turned all the contrast and sharpness down, saturation. It looks very... It almost looks like it turned a bleach bypass on the screen. But then we tweak it. We got it. That's a loud HVAC truck. It's a cement spinner and an HVAC. Oh, that's good times. I'm gonna leave. What do you think? How did it perform today? Is it better than anything you've ever seen me film on? And will you buy one through my affiliate links or shop at Camera Canada? Let me know after you bought a Camera Conspiracies t-shirt and a Q-Link pendant. 2-for-1 sale. You'll feel better, asshole. Stop calling me a scammer. I feel so good wearing that thing. 2-for-1. That's huge. That's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. I'm gonna go. Subscribe for more videos. I'll see you on the next.